Business Brain, episode 524 for Wednesday, February 14th, National Ferris Wheel Day 2024. Greetings, folks, and welcome back to Business Brain, the show where we take an idea or three, we analyze it, we dissect it, we dig into it, we pull it apart, we put it back together so that each of us can tune our business brains every single time we get together. Sponsors for this episode include Miro.com/podcast, where you can go to create your first 3 Miro boards, and they will be free forever. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. For now, here on National Ferris Wheel Day, Valentine's Day, it's like National Gooey Chocolate, Cream-Filled Chocolate Day, and I think it's also National NFL Hangover Day, which seems weirdly late this year.
Yeah.
In Durham, New Hampshire, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And in Lafayette, California, I'm Shannon Jean, and I can't stand Ferris wheels, man. They're just not for me.
What do you have against Ferris wheels?
It's not a height. I have no problem being up high when I'm in control of it. But I've seen those guys put those Ferris wheels together and those places, and I'm not convinced that it's a good place to be for me.
No, they smoke only the
giant...
best weed before they put those Ferris wheels together for the carnival. So it's totally
That is
fine.
true. But have you ever ridden one of the giant Ferris wheels, like the London Eye?
Yeah,
or
when you're
Flyer?
inside the big cart.
Like,
No, that's cool.
That's
yeah.
cool.
That's an experience. That's like being in an elevator. I can handle that. I can do it. But
the
hey,
world's best engineers did that.
Yeah, that's right. So hey, we're joined today by Ryan Sneddon of he's the local newsletter guy on the X platform. I've been following Ryan for a while as he's promoted this concept of this local newsletter. He has created one that's very successful called the Naptown Scoop for Annapolis, Maryland. And Ryan, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is cool. So I wanted to have you on because you look like you have something to say, Dave.
I want to dig right in.
Yeah, me too.
Like, what is this Naptown Scoop?
Yeah.
Explain it to me, because I don't live in Annapolis, so you might be surprised I haven't subscribed yet.
Not a problem at all. I only want people in Annapolis to subscribe. So I was hesitant to actually put it on my Twitter or X for a little while because I was like, I don't want people seeing this if they're not actually going to read. Turns out I don't have very many followers anyway, so it doesn't matter. Now I let people do it anyway. But it's an email that you get every Monday through Friday, every weekday at 6 a.m. and just tells you what's going on in town. Where's the live music? What did the city council do at their last meeting? What's the new restaurant that just opened on Main Street? All that sort of stuff. What's the new restaurant or the restaurant that just closed? What's replacing it? So basically, like a community newspaper, lifestyle newspaper kind of thing. We don't do any crime unless it's like really big. If the mayor got kidnapped, we would put that in there. But
Sure.
Like the carjacking at the Safeway, we skip that.
Yeah, you're not looking to be sensational. You're looking to be informative.
Exactly.
Kind of like the Skim for very hyper local, right?
People say, what is it? And I gave you the little bit longer pitch because we're on a podcast.
No, I wanted you to.
But
that
like
was good.
the elevator pitch where it's like, hey, what is that? It depends on who asks. If it's an older person asking and they're a man, I might say it's like the local newspaper just sent through email. If it's a middle-aged woman asking, I might say it's the Skim, but if it was only about Annapolis. If it's a young person, like a young woman, I'd be like, it's like Morning Brew, but only for Annapolis.
Yeah, sure.
And then if a young guy is asking, I'm like, well, it's like Barstool Sports, but if that was only about Annapolis. And that kind of runs the whole range of who might ask that question. And usually the answer is like, oh, cool. Every once in a while,
I like that.
Like,
how you
what's
break
Barstool?
down. I liked how you break down the demographic and how you tell your story to that different groups. I think that's a great way to fine tune it. So where'd the impetus for this business concept come from?
Like all good businesses, I copied somebody else.
Woohoo! Smart.
Yeah,
it's the best way to do it, isn't it? Because you get to iterate. When you do that, you get to look at all the things you loved about that business and all the things you didn't love about that business, and you get to create from that. It always bugs me when somebody says, "Oh, I stole this idea from somebody." Unless you literally stole their business from them, you stole nothing. You were inspired by it. Like and not that you said you stole it, but I hear this from people.
No,
often.
I hear that all the time, and at the end of the day, like you can't, you can patent certain things. Like you can patent the cool way that my tripod that my camera sits on extends its legs. And if somebody went out and stole Enduro's design, then that's actually stealing. But if I saw somebody have this local newsletter in Columbia, South Carolina, where I did, and then I go and do the same thing in a different city, it's just like, that's not copyright infringement or patent infringement or anything. And so people hear that and like, I need to have a new idea. And you're like, no.
I don't think so.
You don't.
Yeah, not necessarily.
No,
Yeah.
I've always said if you want your idea to be worth $100, write it on a $100 bill. It's all about how you execute. That's where the value
I've never heard
is.
that, but I love that.
The value's
that's
in
like
the
a really
execution.
nice way of putting it. I put it a less nice way when my friends are like, I can't tell you my idea. And I'm like,
Yeah, exactly.
your idea is worth nothing. And they're like,
it's worth
what?
nothing. Yes.
And
Yeah.
I shouldn't be so mean, but I am.
Well, you can use the $100 bill thing.
I think I will do that.
Yeah, give me credit like the first 2 or 3 times you do it, and then you just own it and pretend
And
it's yours.
I'm just going to steal it from you right
Correct.
away.
Correct.
Yeah,
That's
good.
fine.
You got it.
That's my
fine.
idea
I
now.
I love the iteration. So, okay. So
If you write it on a $100 bill, it's worth something.
Yes.
I'm
Okay.
gonna
So
write
how
that
does
on a $100
how does the newsletter? How does it work? How'd you build your subscriber base? How long you've been around? And I don't know much about it. I think it generates revenue, good revenue.
Yeah.
So tell me about how you generate that revenue.
So yeah, I've been around 3.5 years now, I think. Started August 2020, and this is February 2024. I'm bad at math, so I don't do that in public.
Don't do public math. That's right.
yeah.
That's what
It's
we've
funny,
learned
I'm-
as podcasters. Yep.
I'm an engineer, so I can do like complicated other math, but not just out in my head. So yeah, 3.5 years though. I think about that. Got my first subscribers. I posted on Facebook that I was doing it. I grew up kind of close to here, so I had some friends who were nearby. I made an Instagram account for the business, for the newsletter, posted there a picture of myself and said I was going to start this thing. And then I also started running Facebook ads to get subscribers before I even sent the first issue, for about a week before. So I sent the first one to about 70 people. Then a week later, I sent the second one to 150 people. And then I don't remember how many we kept sending to, but now we just sent this morning's to 17,600 people.
That's sweet, man.
Yeah, that's like you said, do the podcast for 10 years. It just, when you put the reps in for something over a very long period of time, that's when good things happen.
All right, Business Brain listeners, let's get real for a second here. Ever feel like your workflow is more scattered than socks in a teenager's bedroom? You're hopping from app to app, trying to piece together the big picture, but end up feeling like you're playing digital detective instead? That's where our sponsor, Miro, swoops in, like a superhero for your sanity. Imagine consolidating all those tabs, tools, and tear-inducing spreadsheets into one visually stunning, easy-to-navigate board. Yes, it's possible, and it's possible with Miro. I gave Miro a whirl for a project that was more tangled than my headphone cords. We're talking the Mount Everest of messes, but with Miro, suddenly everything clicked. It was like going from a cluttered desk to a Zen garden, digitally, of course. We mapped out ideas, tasks, and timelines all in one space with my partners, transforming chaos into a masterpiece of organization. And the best part, the team actually started to enjoy meetings. We collaborated in real time, doodling, dragging, and dropping ideas like we were kids with the coolest new toy. Miro turned our uh-oh moments into aha moments, making connections that were previously lost in the abyss of disconnected tools. So, if you're ready to cut through the clutter and bring your team together in a way that's both fun and fantastically efficient, I've got 3 magic words for you. Find simplicity in your most complex projects with Miro, and your first 3 Miro boards are free when you sign up today at Miro.com/podcast. That's right. That's 3 free boards at Miro.com/podcast. Kickstart your journey to streamline success, and our thanks to Miro for sponsoring this episode. All right, so 17,000 subscribers recipients as of this morning. What's the revenue picture look like? I mean, this is a business; it's not just a fun little thing. It can be both. How does that work?
Yeah, so we do sponsored ads, 5 ads per newsletter. I've toyed around with the idea of doing more because the top 2 have pictures, the bottom 3 don't, and the top 2, everybody wants those too. So we only used to have one picture, and then they all sold out, and so then I created another one with pictures. I feel like we're pretty full with 5 ads.
Sure.
It's only about 15 to 1,800 words, even with 5 ads, which are worth, let's see, 210.
You're doing public math again.
I am doing public math, but I've done this public math before, so I'm more likely doing public memory. If it's about 1,800 words and about a third of that is ads, if we have all 5 ads in there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I really want to jam too many more in there. I feel like we might be able to do some banner ads. I've been kind of experimenting with promoting our own things with what are effectively banner ads, and I haven't heard a lot of negative feedback. So I definitely think I could do that. But all told, if all the revenue is sold out, all the ads that I've currently invented, that would be about $500,000. And in 2024, this year, we already have about 175,000 of that sold, just with renewals and a little bit. Pretty much everything we've done is inbound. So right now I'm in the process of hiring someone who can go do a little bit of outbound.
Yeah.
Because I don't really want to do that. I don't.
And you might be able to, I mean, there's a ceiling in terms of the cost of an ad, but you might be able to raise it up. And what you could do is, I don't know what engine you're using for your email sending, but you don't have to put the same ad in every copy, in every person's newsletter, right? You could have 6 ads sold for the top 2 slots, right? And send a third to each. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep. So
that gets things a little bit more complicated than I like.
It does. But if you work with somebody that's doing that
could be something we do. But for the current time, like I'm pretty happy with, if with only selling like last year, we didn't even have. I think we have 160 in ads sold for the entire year of last year. So we already have more than that sold for this year, and we're not even
nice.
We can sell throughout the rest of the year, so it'll be a much better year. Even with just that small amount sold last year, it took me over about 3.5 years, but I replaced my income from the job I quit doing this before. So if I sold out all the ads, would be very good opportunities to go to the next thing. Because we could talk about this. This is a much bigger conversation, but like part of the thing about having this is if I want to do anything in my town, I can now have this unfair advantage to advertising it. There's 2 businesses that I'm thinking about. Well, one that I'm thinking about starting with a friend, one that we're looking to buy with a friend. And, I will have the marketing for that just kind of built in. So there's all sorts of advantages.
Yeah. Well, that's part of your revenue stack, right? As you're building up these companies, Dave and I have done the same thing over time, building these digital properties, if you will, and then doing different things and talking about them here and doing stuff on the web. So yeah, I think that's terrific.
No, it's really smart. Think about that unfair competitive advantage that your existing business that you've built could give you for the next business. That's
I mean, my favorite advantage to think about is if I started, let's say, for example, some kind of the one that we want to buy. I'm not going to say what it is because I have partners that want to do it with me, so they might get mad. But let's just pick any business. If I started a car repair shop or I bought a car repair shop, I could give my car repair shop the top advertising in the Naptown Scoop every single week for free. And then I can also not let any other car repair shops buy advertising.
Yeah.
So not only is my cost of advertising in the Scoop 0, but nobody else can because it's mine. And
you put in the time. You built it.
It's yours.
It's your
you
stuff,
get to choose.
Yeah.
It's
cool.
that's going to be my favorite advantage is just free marketing and also competition.
I love it.
You get to control it. Yeah, exclusivity.
One of the other things that attracted me to your account, follow you, and I signed up for your growth newsletter is this comment here. It's this. You have another Life of Scoop newsletter to help others grow local newsletters throughout the country. And I love this part too. Only want to teach people who really want to learn. I'm going to limit the number of subscribers to 7,777. And if you don't open at least 2 each month, you're going to be unsubscribed automatically.
Woo.
So I like that. I thought that's cool. So
how do you deal with that with people who use the Apple Mail client and you can't track whether they've opened or not?
That is a great question. I'm going to
It doesn't
figure that
matter.
out.
You said it.
I'm
To
gonna-
me, it's
I'm gonna
what
figure
you
that out.
said.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm a nerd. I ask these,
Yeah.
you know.
No, it doesn't matter.
As soon as I said that, someone asked that, and I was like, shit, I haven't thought about that.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, the statement is the more important part. This
You're right,
concept
Shannon. You're totally
of
right.
scarcity and like, look, your time
Yes.
and your knowledge is valuable. So I'm not just going to stick it out there for everybody. Yeah, it's free, and I'll help you, and you see where it goes. Is that still your plan, that you want to help other people grow and build local newsletters for their town, their city?
Yeah, when I first started, I always said I wanted to build 100 newsletters in 100 cities, and I wanted to own them all and be, the whatever number that would make me largest digital local news publisher in the country. I got to imagine that would put you decently high up on the list.
Oh, yeah, especially with how this model seems like it's a workable model for local news in today's world when local newspapers are like either dying or at best being consolidated and being published out of Dallas, right? Like that's literally what's happening in many cities. So I like this.
Yeah, so I thought that in the beginning, and then I always take like 2 weeks off at the end of the year around Christmas to really think about how the last year went and the next year is going to go. And I realized this year, I was like, I don't want to do that anymore. That seems damn near impossible. I don't know how to run 100 businesses at the same time. At the time, I'm 26. Today's my 27th birthday.
Hey, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. So like, I'm like, I don't know how to do that. So I'm going to go do something. Like I'll keep doing this, but then I'll go figure out something else. And then over the next month, I kind of learned, you know what? I thought about selling the Naptown Scoop, and I decided not to. And I was like, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to teach other people how to do it while I figure out what the next thing is. And I kind of have an idea of what the next business is, but it's probably like 3 years away. It's a big swing. It's the kind of business that either goes to 100 million or it fails. And I think that sounds fun, but I want to have something that's a little bit more secure before I try that. And so now I'm like, I'm going to help people do it. You can make money helping people do it. But then also, as I help people, I'll find some people that I really like and they live in the right city to do it. And I'll partner with them. And then I still will get to have a couple of these around the country, maybe not 100, but I've already got 2 people that I'm really excited about partnering with. One I actually met last weekend.
Nice.
I didn't meet them for the first time. I met them because I want to partner with them.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that. And I have another phone call with somebody I want to partner with early next week. If that goes well, then I'll fly out and meet him and still have a couple of these things that I'm a partner in or own a majority of. But the real plan is now, instead of owning 100 around the country, it's helping 1,000 people do it.
Yep.
I love it. And we'll have links in the show notes at businessbrain.show. So if you're listening to this, come up there, click in. You can get connected with Ryan up on Twitter or X. Okay. Before the show, we were talking about you're planning on relocating maybe later this year, that kind of stuff. What's the plan for your local scoop newsletter there in Annapolis? Are you going to run it remotely, or which sounds kind of difficult to me, or do you have somebody that you're going to put in that's closer? You're going to get an operator like everybody likes to talk about online? How's it going to work?
So to be honest, don't know yet. It can definitely be done remotely to a point. When you're starting out in the beginning, it's awesome and helpful to be actually at basically every event in town. There's one of those that, like, do the things that don't scale kind of thing. That's definitely a cheat code with local newsletters. I didn't figure that out until almost a year in. So if I had figured that out earlier, I bet you we would have grown faster. So this is part of why I'm helping other people do this, because they don't have to make the mistakes that took me 9 months to learn. So you're already 9 months ahead. That's the kind of reason I'm excited to teach people. But so yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. It can be done remotely. It can't be done as well. But at this point, the snowball's kind of rolling and it's popular and big, and it's not too big to fail. I'm not thinking that by any means, but I don't need to be out there every time anymore, at every event, every day of the week. I think if I do go away, I would want to come back. So I'm not going to go away until I have the actual budget to do this personally, but I'd want to probably come back about once a month, because there's something going on that I'd want to personally just be at because they're fun, at least once a month. And it would be good to be back in the town. You see a lot of the clients of the newsletter at these kinds of things.
Yeah.
But you talk about an operator. I have somebody in mind that I want to hire. They're doing something on their own right now, and I want to either, kind of like an acqui-hire. I want to buy what they're doing roll it up into my Naptown Scoop brand and then have that person be the editor-in-chief of both publications. That's still working that relationship. I've been working it for a little while. This person is, we got close one time and then we got unclose, and that's how business goes.
It's how it works.
Favorite thing that I've stolen from somebody, as we keep talking about that topic, is the founder of Twitch, Emmett Shear, always says, "Birds fly, fish swim, and deals fall through." I used to get really late. I used to get really low when things like that didn't work out, and now I'm like, well, it's if it works the first time, you get super lucky, but it doesn't often work the first time. So
no, you're talking to a couple people that have. I mean,
I have a sticky
you could
note.
Have made up that phrase.
I have a sticky note on my monitor down in my office that says "Time kills all deals." It's been there for 15 years. I don't know why it still sticks to my monitor. This must be just the universe kind of smiling at me to remind me that
time kills all deals, but it doesn't kill the sticky notes.
It doesn't kill the sticky notes. That's right. Yeah, a lot of deals have fallen through while that thing has not yet fallen. That's right.
That's terrific.
Ryan, I love the birds fly, fish swim, and deals fall through, because it's so true.
It is. And the fact that you're doing this now and iterating and figuring this stuff out, that's terrific. I love that path. And I also love what are you going to do here? And you're like, I'm not sure yet. And that's awesome. I am still making those kind of calls after doing this stuff for 25 years. And that's the way you adjust and iterate, make mistakes, learn from them, and, just keep grinding it out. So I love hearing this story. Again, businessbrain.show, or if you have questions for Ryan directly, feedback@businessbrain.show. We'll forward them over to him. And Ryan, thanks again for coming on. We really appreciate hearing your story.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there any place online you'd want people to, I know we've mentioned a couple of your Twitter accounts, which will be linked here. Is that the right place for people to find you?
Yeah, it's probably the best place. And then lifeofscoop.beehive.com is probably, it's how to get on the Life of Scoop newsletter, where I'm telling really all the things about how to do this.
Yeah, great. All right. We will put that there too. Ryan, thanks for joining us. Everybody else, thanks for listening. Thanks for doing what you do. Make sure to check out our sponsor, of course, Miro.com/podcast. Keep on living that charmed life, and we'll see you next time.